Here we go, coming to you live from a top-secret broadcasting bunker here at Area 52. This is Pastor Mike Hoggard. I am online and I am live. Looking forward to get into it today. I want to start out today by, I was just kind of reading the Word, and I'm going to bring my can of King James Bible over here. This just blessed my heart, and I've had the opportunity today because I've gotten all of my recording done yesterday. I recorded the Watchman broadcast yesterday, part 2 of these Where Dragons Live, and it turned out to be a really good. I'm not saying like the quality of it or my delivery of it or how good I looked. Okay. I enjoyed presenting the information. I got a blessing from it, going through the Scriptures, going through the Word of God. It has helped me. That study has helped me before. And I had a good time with it yesterday. I had a good time with the Pure Bible Study as well. And that is available online on our church website. Jazz is working feverishly right now as we are sprechen to get it on the Pure Bible Study site. She said she is a day late and $1 short. So all of you who can afford it, please send Jazz $1 because apparently she needs it. Anyway, I just spent some time today. I did a little radio interview with a group up in Upper New York. A show called the Second Amendment Show, I think is what it was called, and they wanted me on. I talked to them today, and we did about a 20-minute interview this morning about God, guns, and liberty. And then after that, I'm just sitting here going, okay, what do I want to do? Well, I just started researching and studying some things. I found, in amongst a massive amount of information, I found a whole DVD that I had that I don't remember where I got it. But it was a whole DVD full of teaching on the Kabbalah from those who teach the Kabbalah. And there was a bunch of videos on there. And I started going through those videos this morning. I watched about 2 of them. They were about 30 minutes in length, 45 minutes in length, something like that. And I'm sitting here making notes on these things, not because I want to try to get everybody to the Kabbalah. What I am finding this out massively, that at the core of the Hebrew roots, at the core of the emergent church, at the core of the charismatic movement, at the core of all the false doctrines that are moving into the church, there is a common denominator here. The Kabbalah is part of that denominator. The Kabbalah is just like everything else. It's just like Freemasonry. It's just like the Vatican. It's just like Islam. They are all inroads to worshiping the beast, is where they are. When these people say that all roads lead to the same God, that's true. It's just not the same God of the Scriptures. It's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's a pretend God. It's the God of this world, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. And so I just in watching these 2 videos, I made some extensive notes. But as this rabbi is teaching this, I am making notes, and I'm going, I get that. I know what that is. And I am learning elements of the Kabbalah that I can see clearly now inside of the Hebrew roots, inside of the emerging church, elements of the Kabbalah that you'll see in the New Age movement, that you'll see in Roman Catholicism, that you'll see. It's all the same lie. It's just packaged in different packages. It's kind of like, I don't know if you know this. Some of these factories in the United States that, let's say, the same factory that makes Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, they also make private label for like particular stores like Walmart, Kroger, Schnucks we have in this area, Safeway, places like that. They all have their own private label. Well, they actually come from the exact same factory. That's why they taste like Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. But it's their own private label. It's the same cereal. It's just got a different package around it, and that's the lie that's being told. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm putting this together, and it's going to take me a while. And if you want to help me in this research, go ahead, and I'll probably tell you how you can help me later on in this broadcast, if I remember it. Well, let me go ahead and tell you now. That way I don't forget. I believe with all my heart, and I have the beginnings of the evidence of it, that every teacher, Staley, Rood, Bill Cloud, I learned another name today. Who is this guy? Somebody sent me a video. Rabbi Ralph Messer. There's scores of others. I believe that every one of these teachers, whether they know it or not, are using elements of the Zohar and the Kabbalah in their teaching. They learned Hebrew roots from Jewish rabbis, and they have incorporated their philosophies into the Hebrew roots movement. Ariel sent me a couple of emails, and I'm just, because somebody had asked me about Jonathan Cahn, the guy who wrote The Harbinger. I have some things today that I could show you and expose you, but I don't have, I need some more groundwork, I need some more information. But as far as Cahn and The Harbinger and all that stuff, I get it. I know, I get him now. And he is teaching elements of the Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. He's teaching the very witchcraft that the Apostle Paul warned us not to be a part of. And so I spent a lot of time. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you want to help me with this, number one, don't send me 3-hour-long videos to watch, okay? Because my time just does not allow for that. If you want to help me with this, start studying and listening to what these guys are saying. And anything that strikes you as odd, like they make us, it's like listening to Jim Staley the other day, and this article is on my blog, PastorMikeHoggard.com. Jim Staley mentioned the white fire and the black fire, and I went, where'd that come from? Well, it came from the Zohar. He is teaching principles right out of the Zohar. He's teaching the same witchcraft that Paul told us not to be bound by. And it didn't sound right to me, and then I started doing the research and I found it. So if you want to take the time, you want to help me out, start listening. Pray first, because their deception is very subtle, and they're very slick at what they do. Pray that God would anchor you in the King James Bible, and then listen to what they say. And if anything strikes you as odd, write it down, and then do a little research on it. The Zohar, all the stuff about the Zohar is out there on the internet. You can find it very easily. All the stuff on the Kabbalah is out there. You can find it very easily, and it won't take you long to find it. And once you do that, send me all your references, send me your links, send me, if you want, if there's a video where so-and-so says something, jot down the time so that I can go right there and listen to it. Or if you want a transcript, part of something that somebody said, do that. That helps me a lot. That way I have direct quotes, give me all the sources, because these guys are going to come unglued like they already have, because you didn't source it right. They're going to say, well, I never said that, or I never did this. And if you've got the source, and I put this on my blog, I've got every source that I used on there. People can just click the link and they could read exactly what I read. That would help me out immensely. And you send it to any, I've got like 25 email addresses. Pick one and make sure that, because I don't read all the email addresses now. I can't do it. I don't have time. But if you have relevant information on the Hebrew roots and its relation to the Kabbalah, send it. This is attention, Pastor Mike. This is what he asked for, and I promise you it will get to me. All right? I appreciate that. But then after filling my head with all this garbage from the Kabbalah, I sat here and I thought, you know what? I'm hungry. and I need some word in me. And so I grabbed my Bible, and it just happened to be open here to the book of Colossians. And if you have your can of King James open to Colossians chapter 1, and I'm just going to kind of do a line by line. So I haven't done this in a while on this program, but I'd just like to do this. We used to call it the Random Access Bible Study. Was that what it's called? Yeah, the Random Bible Study or something like that. We just open up to a part and start studying it. But anyway, here's what Colossians chapter 1 verse 19 says. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself. By him, I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. And you that were sometime, now this is where he's going to be talking to us, you and I sitting here reading the Word, all right? And you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled. And the Bible, this is the constant theme of the New Testament. The constant theme of the New Testament is that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. God didn't wait for us to climb the ladder, as it were, so that we could reach him. Jesus descended from heaven to come down to us to reconcile us to God. But you don't see anything in the Bible about how we got to work our way up to the top so we can reach God. That is Kabbalah. That is Masonry. That is witchcraft. That is mysticism. That is the New Age movement. You read the testimony of some of these people in the New Age movement, they'll tell you, boy, we had to do this, and boy, we got there, and then we decided we needed more, so we did that and got there. And I'll tell you, that teaching shows up in churches everywhere. You hear people talking about, boy, we're going to take you to a new level of faith today. We're going to bring you to a new level, a new understanding. And then here's what gets me. I've had people write me and say that they questioned some of the prophetesses or some of the women or some of the teachings that were going on in the church. One in particular, she addressed this to a woman prophetess in her church, and she said, you know, what you're saying, I just can't see it in the scripture anywhere. And the woman looked at her very condescendingly and said, well, it's obvious that you're really not on the same level as I am. Ooh, that goes all over me. If there's anything that God has ingrained in me as a benefit to me, is that I absolutely despise someone looking down at me or condescending or speaking in a condescending way. Oh, really? Well, that's nice for you. I'm so glad that works for you. Boy, that gets me. You live in a double wide. Well, I'm sure it's very nice. That's good. Thank you. Oh, that gets me. And I have encountered that in different places. And this is the same spirit that works in all of the children of disobedience. Is that you have levels with God. I want to tell you something. There are two types of people in the world. There are saved people and there are lost people. And in this group of saved people, there are not subgroups of people who are more saved than others. That's a lie. And in this subgroup of people who are lost, there are not levels of people who are more